Good evening, everyone. Hope everything is going well by your side. This is Dr. Zahra Ahmed Al-Wafi, Assistant Researcher at the Child Health Department of the Medical Research Division at the National Research Center and Conference Unit member. The Conference Unit is really glad today to have our great speaker. We actually invited previously, and we had the previous session about SciVal too last December. Lucia Shombi, she's the Senior Research Intelligence Consultant at Elsevier, and she's joining us today from South Africa. Welcome, Lucia. Very happy to have you again today. And we have Mohammed Raed, the Research Intelligence Consultant from Elsevier Africa. Very nice to have you, Mr. Mohammed, today again. This is the third webinar we are having within our series about SciVal entitled Strategic Approach to Research. And this is within our collaboration with Elsevier and EKB through a year till now, Enhance Your Research with Elsevier. We are really proud of all the work we have been doing together. The outcome is really great, the feedback is really great. And I'm happy personally to be learning new things with Elsevier, different tools that will really help us enhance the research performance, regard the quality, the quantity of research. All the statistics are getting better, and this is very, very nice. And very happily in closing this series about SciVal today with the third webinar entitled Group Performance and Benchmarking. Today we will be learning how to analyze and benchmark groups of researchers, and to learn with Lucia and Mohammed how we can do this. We had in the previous webinar an assignment to do. Actually, I'm very happy that a few from our audience have actually sent their homework. Maybe more of them have actually entered and accessed SciVal, and that the people who have, or the researchers who have sent us are about 9. So I will be leaving Mohammed Raed to talk about them and thank them and give them the feedback about their assignments. I hope they are here today and listening to us. Today, we will be going through a 1-hour session averagely. The chatting will be allowed within the last part of the session for your Q&A. And regarding the certificates, we'll be having a link for the certificates for the audience and the researchers who have attended the 3 webinars, or at least 2 of them. We'll be having a grouped certificate for the whole series given from the Researcher Academy from Elsevier. Let me introduce Mohammed Raed. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you, Zahra. As usual, very inspiring opening for the sessions, and very nice organizations as usual. I'm really glad that I was with you guys in the few sessions, the last 2 sessions, and I'm welcoming you today for this session. First of all, I would really like to thank those who done the assignment and sent this email. Dr. Mariam Amir, Dr. Fatma Al-Shihabi, Dr. Muhammad Hassan, Dr. Lamia El-Shinawi, Dr. Ashraf Mimi El-Sayed, Dr. Mustafa Ali Mahmoud, Engineer Muhammad Imam El-Sayed, Dr. Afifi Dardir, Dr. Amal Amir, and Dr. Mahmoud Anib. Some of you have sent directly in my email. However, we would advise more next sessions and next assignment to be shared more into the conference unit email. I'm really glad that you guys have sent this assignment, and really would like to thank you for this extra mile you have done. Today, we will speak mainly about the building hierarchy, building groups in SciVal, how to create different groups in SciVal and then benchmark those groups. It's really useful and unique feature in SciVal that allows you to do this, to get this insights from. So you will be able to compare departments or group of researchers based on this exercise that we're going to do. We're glad to have Lucy today with us for this live demonstration and explanation more in details how you guys could benefit from this tool and from this feature in SciVal. I would like just to share my screen in the beginning as usual and just do a few questions with you. As we said, we're going to introduce SciVal, the access, and how to create groups, and then benchmarking those groups. But first, we have a question. We would like to see if how familiar are you with SciVal, because I would advise everyone to answer those questions. It should be available now on the screen, and it's very useful because it's going to we're going to adjust the tone of the language that we are going to use throughout this presentation based on your responses. So please take the time to answer this poll. While you answer this poll, I would just like to highlight a thing. I'm going to through the chat also. I want to know if someone is facing any trouble accessing the SciVal as a tool. You can always reach out to me in my email, or you can send an email to the conference unit at NRC. And then we're going to schedule a meeting, another session, just for making sure everyone is having an access to SciVal. We don't have enough time today to go through the details of how to access SciVal. However, we would like to guarantee that everyone has the tool and is able to access it. We've had a few. We've had a bug last week for those who were not able to access SciVal through the Egyptian Knowledge Bank. So the one extra thing that you will need to do is just create an account on SciVal after you log in through the via your institution, which is the AKB. Then it will get you back to SciVal. Then you will have to just create an account on SciVal if you don't have an account on SciVal, and this should solve the problem of the access. So please, we would just like to arrange another session, and those who are not able to access SciVal through the AKB, please reach out to the NRC email, and we are going to prepare and send you an invitation for just a session dedicated for making sure everyone is accessing SciVal. Okay, I'm going to end this poll right now. We have almost 50% of the responders. Anyone is going to add anything before we close it? Okay, so I'm going to share also the results. We have regular users, which is a minority, users of SciVal once or twice, heard about SciVal but didn't use it yet. I'm wondering if it's an access problem or you haven't got the chance yet to start. I would really encourage you to start using SciVal, because and for those who haven't heard about SciVal, please, we have done already 2 sessions about SciVal last couple of weeks. So I would like to I would like you to go through them and just listen to them, because they will be really helpful for you. And we're going to also give a brief introduction about SciVal right now, so that you just be on the same page with us. Okay, so SciVal is a tool that enhances the research strategy. Researchers go into SciVal to analyze data and visualize and create reports and export those reports to help them in their decisions when it comes to the research. So you will need to go to SciVal for several use cases, and we're going to tell you what exactly are the use cases for SciVal as a researcher. So SciVal is a tool, it's a modular platform. It allows you to, as we said, it contains 4 modules: the overview, the benchmarking, the collaboration, where you can, as a researcher or regardless your career level, you would go to this tool and collect insights whenever throughout the research journey, whether you are starting to writing your paper, you would like to know which topic shall I write about. SciVal is the tool to help you to do this. If you want to select collaboration, you go into the collaboration module and find who are the potential collaborators, who are the experts on in specific or a particular area. Then you can find them and start collaborating with them. You would also like to, for example, if you are working in a department in a university, you would like to see the performance of this department and benchmark it later on across different universities in Egypt. The data in SciVal is very huge, and it comes from many sources. It comes from many sources, and there's many metrics you can use to measure the performance of a specific researcher or a country or an institution. So the data comes mainly from Scopus. This is the main underlying data for SciVal, and it does not only use data from Scopus, it uses data from the global media mentions, which help you to know what is happening, what is being said in the media, not just in the terms of what's just being published in the online, and the citation counts for each paper published as well. It also includes data from the patent offices, so you will be able to see how many patent and search for the documents in terms of patency, and you also have data from the global funding bodies. This data is all integrated in a way that allows you to analyze the world of research in a very very inclusive and insightful way through SciVal. So as we said, Scopus is the main underlying data, because Scopus is the biggest and most curated, the largest curated database globally. It includes data, huge data, from not just Elsevier publishers. It uses data from more than 7,000 publishers. It's like the data, the cloud that includes all the documents, like more than 82 million documents from different publishers, where you can just analyze and select whatever journal, for instance, and just see all the analytics on all the documents published in specific journal. You can see an institution and see all the documents published by a specific institution. See all the authors, select an author and see all the publication published by this particular author. You can find many data related to the abstract and the citation, because Scopus is the biggest abstract and citation database. As we said, SciVal is take the data from SciVal, from Scopus, and it makes it allow you to visualize this data in a way that gives you insight to take a decision. So SciVal has a supercomputer which allow you to host big amount of data, and it's very user-friendly. It allows you to jump from one point to another in a very user-friendly and fast interface. It hosts many data. It allows you to analyze more than 100,000 topic in more than 330 subject areas, and the data comes from different parts of the world, so it's quite representative to the global research happening all over the world, which comes from 230 countries. So you will be able to analyze and benchmark and see the performance of different institutions across the world. So you will have the whole world research in just a few clicks to analyze through SciVal. So this is just a brief about SciVal, just for you to know about SciVal. And then I would advise whoever wants to know more about SciVal just to go through SciVal and see there is lots of support documents and links on SciVal page that you will be able to help you and keep you going with SciVal. Today we're not going to start from scratch. We are going to build on what we have already mentioned at the last few sessions, which is mainly creating groups. The first session was mainly about the institutional performance and how to just measure the performance of different institutions. And we gave a more detailed orientation about what SciVal can do, and we navigated through different modules. just to give you an overview about SciVal. And then the next session, we talked about the researchers in specific, going into researchers matrix and seeing the different, how to evaluate different researchers and see the performance of them, and how to find experts on a specific topic for researchers if you want to do a collaboration, for instance. And today we are going to do mainly the exercise of the building groups in SciVal. So I hope this is useful. I'm not going to talk about the access to SciVal right now, because as we said, if you want to know about the access, if you have trouble, you can go to YouTube, the Elsevier Africa, and also you will find lots of videos explaining more about how to access SciVal through the AKB. And if you still are suffering from or facing any problem accessing SciVal, please reach out to NRC or reach out to my email, and I will help you solve this problem. Now I'm just going to leave the floor to Lucia, and as usual, Lucia, waiting for you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Right. I'm very happy to join you today and to join the NRC again today. I've done many presentations, so I hope some of you will recognize me. I'm sorry, I can't recognize you. I can't see your faces today. But what we're going to focus on today is to talk about SciVal from a very specific point of view. We're going to look at the third use case, the third most important use case. Not that they're ranked in order of importance, but as Riot has mentioned, SciVal can be used to analyze an entire institution, the performance of the institution based on research, can also help to analyze how is the institution collaborating, how can you use metrics when you're applying for grants. And today we're going to look at the third use case there, and that is where we look at the performance of researchers in groups. So those groups can be a department, a division, a lab. It can be any configuration that makes sense to you within your institution. Next slide. So for you who have used SciVal before, you will recognize that the default analysis that we can do in SciVal is subject-based. So those subject areas reflect the discipline of the journals in which the researchers are publishing, right? But this can be different from the faculty or the school or the division that the researcher belongs to. And what we're going to look at today is how to create those groups that are separate, that give us a different view of the performance of researchers from the perspective of the institutional hierarchy. So on the right-hand side, you can see I took this from the website of the NRC, where there's a very nice overview of what are the divisions within the NRC. And you can see that they're quite different from the standard subject areas that we have within SciVal. So these researchers within the divisions, they are publishing in journals that belong to some of the subject areas, right? But the subject areas is not necessarily reflecting the entire group performance, right? So this is why we have two different views on the performance. The one is from the subject-based, and the other one is from the institutional, the hierarchy or the institutional structure that is used, right? So within the NRC, we're going to look today at institutions, and within the institutions are departments. So I'm going to take one of the divisions and then select a few of the departments in that division to show how we can group researchers into a structure that is used in the organization. So for this, I'm going to go online. So before I do that, I just want to also, I forgot to mention, so when we look at where the researchers are publishing, also some researchers would regard themselves as a computer science researcher, but they can also publish in journals that are related to engineering and related to mathematics, right? So this is when we're looking at the subject differentiation within an institution. So it's important to keep that in mind, right? So the classification of the subject is coming from the journal side. If the journal identifies itself as a mathematics journal, then in SciVal it's going to be under mathematics, right? So just to clarify how the subject, where the subject areas are coming from. Thanks, right. I'm going to share my screen now so that I can go into the demo. If you have any questions, please add them to the chat and then we can come back to them later. Right, so I need to just stop my video to have more bandwidth. Thanks. Right, so you can see we're starting, this is the home page of SciVal, and we can start basically any place on the home page. You can see the different modules, the overview module, benchmarking module, there's collaboration, trends, grants, and reporting modules. We can start with the overview module. And first what I'm going to focus on is how do we create these groups within SciVal. Right, so the default here, opening up on the institution, this is the National Research Center. You can see that we've got the date set here for 2016 to 2020. This can be changed. I mentioned that we've got the subject areas. So these are the subject areas where the researchers are publishing in. You can see there's quite a focus here on chemistry. There's also a big focus here on biochemistry, material science as well. And we can also look at all of this information from the perspective of, filtering by subject area. First, by large subject areas, broad subject areas, say, for instance, agriculture and biological sciences, or we can go into a subdiscipline as well. So we can look at food science, for example. So that would be a subdiscipline. Now you've got fewer. So we can do this. This is easy. This is the default way that we look at the performance of an institution. So how do we create this grouping so that we can see it from the perspective of the structure of the institution? And to do that, we need to go in SciVal to the entities panel, which is on the left-hand side. And the entities panel, we have entities for institutions, researchers, publication sets, countries, etc. And we're going to work within the researchers and groups entities, right? So this is always our starting point in SciVal. First, before you do any analysis, you have to select the entity that you want to analyze. Sorry. So, sorry. So selecting researchers and groups. And now we want to add researchers, right? So we already have researchers that have been identified in SciVal for the National Research Center, but we want to now create a group of researchers. So the easiest way, there are different ways of doing it, but I'm going to show you the easiest way to do this, especially if you're going to work with large numbers of researchers. Say, for instance, all the researchers in a division or all the researchers in a department. So the easiest way to do this is to use the import researchers function. So you click on import researchers, and then you'll see there's a template. So you can open this template. So now what we're going to do is, in this Excel spreadsheet, we list the researchers that we want to configure into groups. Let me just get this on the screen. Sorry, it's just difficult to get that over. There you are. So this is the template, and it's got some information in the template. Let me just make this a bit bigger. Right. So it looks like a large spreadsheet, but actually it's just giving you a lot of ways of identifying a researcher. So we want to have the name of the researcher. This is the minimum information that we need is the name of the researcher, right? Any other information that you might have, if you don't, have the name of the researcher, if you have other information of the researcher, then you can also use that in one of the columns to identify this researcher. So even if you only have the DOI of an article that the researcher published, you can also use that, and SciVal is able to extract the authors from that paper and identify the author. Right? But you can basically take away all of this, because this is just to show an example. Sorry, my mouse got stuck there. So you can use the Scopus ID. You can also use the ORCID. Right? If you have the Scopus ID of a researcher, SciVal is not going to look at any other information that you have of that researcher, because this is the highest standard of information that it will use. Okay. But we delete everything so that we have a clean sheet that we can start with. Okay. So I have prepared an example. So I'm going to open this now. I'm just going to close this one. I'm going to save this, and I want to show you the example that I've prepared. Using a true example of the NRC. Right. So I looked at the website. Let me just fix this. I looked at the website and I saw that the researchers, here are some names of researchers, and I found that they are working in specific division. So they're working in the division of food industry and nutrition. We've got the ORCID numbers of these researchers, and we also have the department in which the researcher is working. So in this Excel spreadsheet, we put in the name of the researchers, all of the names. If we have name variants or alternative names, you can see I'm suspecting this is the same researcher, but the spelling in Scopus is a bit different than it was on the website of the NRC. So you can add that as a name variant. And then, so all of these columns, you don't need to add any information in these columns because we've got the ORCID numbers. So this is going to help SciVal to find these researchers. And then on the right-hand side of the green line, this is where we put the structure. So the first level is they all belong to one division, food industry and nutrition. And on level 2 is I'm putting in the department in which they're working. So 3 different groups because 3 different departments, right? Food technology, fats and oils, toxins, and food pollutants, sorry, food pollutants, right? And then to make it easy to use in SciVal, we can also add tags, right? So the tags I'm adding is the same as the department. And you will see this makes it easy in the entities panel to find the researcher. Right, so this is a long story, but all it comes down to is we've got an Excel spreadsheet. You have to add the names of the researchers in their groups into the spreadsheet. Once you've completed the spreadsheet, you can close the spreadsheet, save it, and close it. And now you go back to SciVal. And now you just import this spreadsheet into SciVal. So it's just taking a few minutes to upload, and you can see that it immediately found all the researchers only using the name and the ORCID number. One of the researchers in this orange block, SciVal is telling us this researcher has more than one profile, so we need to select the correct profile for this researcher. So you click on the name of the researcher, and you can go to refine all suggested profiles. Now, some researchers have more than one profile. because the algorithm had difficulty to link the documents to the right profile. So it created another profile. So now we can select which is the right profile of this researcher. I'm not sure actually in this case, it's Cairo University. So maybe this researcher is working across different institutions. So I'm not sure, so I'm just going to leave this researcher maybe. I'm not sure which one is belonging to the NRC. And so I'm going to close it, and I'm not going to select any of those researchers. And then in the red block, the red line here, this is when SAIBO is not recognizing this researcher. And it could be that the researcher hasn't published yet in SAIBO, so you need to go to Scopus and check, has this researcher published in Scopus? Is the name correctly spelled? Is there any other name format? So you need to, because your Excel spreadsheet then needs to be updated. You can see this researcher, SAIBO is still not recognizing this researcher. So now you can go back to your Excel spreadsheet. I'm just showing you all the different things, very comprehensively, all the different things that you need to look out for, so that when you do it in practice, that you're not surprised by any messages that SAIBO is giving you. So now we have this researcher, which is, SAIBO is struggling to find this researcher. It could be that the ORCID number is incorrect, that sometimes that happens. So we need to, if we want to make very sure that it is correct, we use the SAIBO ID, SAIBO author ID. So it's 7868800. Just check if that's correct. It's correct. Now we save this again. So I'm just showing you this so that you can see that it is important that your Excel spreadsheet needs to be accurate. So we upload that again. So maybe it didn't update completely correctly. Maybe I didn't save it properly. But anyway, so this is, I just wanted to show you that it is sometimes when SAIBO gives you this authors in a red block, it's necessary to go back to your spreadsheet and update the information that you have in the spreadsheet, or check whether the researcher has actually published in Scopus. If it hasn't published in Scopus, it's not going to recognize the researcher. All right. So at this stage, SAIBO is only going to update these researchers that it found an accurate match, and it's not going to update these until you've corrected it in the Excel spreadsheet. Now you can go to next step. It's always possible to update the spreadsheet again. Now you can see it's putting the researchers in their structure. So this is the division. This is fats and oils. These are the researchers in fats and oils department, in toxins and food pollutants. These are the researchers, and in food technology department, these are the researchers. So if we click save and finish, SAIBO is going to group these into researcher groups. So just a minute for that to be computed, and then we can look at the groups. Right. So automatically then, when the groups have been created, this is the group, this is the group that we've created, right? So there are 21 researchers in this group. And here again, you can see the different groups that they are in, which means that now the output, the citations, everything that these researchers have done are now combined, they are aggregated. So we can look at the aggregated metrics of this group. And then for each of them under the If you drop down again, you can see the actual researchers in this. But now this is we are in My Cybele, which is where we do the management of our entities. So if there's anything that we need to change now, we can change it. So if you click, you can do, you can change this, you can delete this researcher from this group, for example. If we're happy to continue, we can select all the researchers, each of the groups with the researchers in the groups, and then we can add them to panel, which means that we will be able to use them now in the other modules. Right. So we replace the existing researchers in the entities panel, and we also add all entities inside the group. Otherwise, it's just going to move the group over and not the entities in the group. So we select that and we add to panel. So now these researchers are in the entities panel. If we go to the overview module, we will find our researchers now under researchers and groups. And this is why we added the tag. So you can see now each researcher has a tag. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to see in which department this researcher is now, because they're all in the same panel. But we can see by the tag where they belong. Now, if you scroll down, you can see the icon where there are more than one figures. If you click on that, so this is Fats and Oils department. So this is now the aggregated research output of that department. So I've only selected a few researchers in this group. So we can have let me see if we look at it. Right, so here you can see the researchers that are in this group. You can see the output of each of the researchers in the group, the number of citations. You can click here to also see the citations per publication and the field-weighted citation impact. I'm coming back to what this means, and you can see the H index of each of the researchers. So we're in the overview module, we're looking at the researchers in this group. And if we go back to the summary view, we can see the combined output of these researchers. So 14 publications, all of these publications were open access. We can look at the list of these publications of the group. And we can export that. We can look at the field-weighted citation impact of the group. So the field-weighted citation impact is the ratio of citations relative to the Scopus average, right? So the Scopus average or the global average is 1.0. So this is a little bit below the world average. But take into consideration, I only selected a few researchers here, just as an example. So the actual metrics are not important here now. It's just showing how to create the group and what is the meaning of the metric, right? So this is the average field-weighted citation impact of all the publications, so the 14 publications. And you can see the citation count for those 14 publications and the citations per publication, so 7.1 citations per publication. You can see that they were all within food science. And you can see that the topics that this group, so looking at the entire group now, we can see that they are focusing on sunflower seed protein, wheat germs, sponge cakes, interesting topic, bleaching, acid activation, extra virgin olive oil, right? So this is the 7 researchers creating this group. This is the topics that they are working on. So the topics are basically part of 100,000 topics that have been identified in Scopus to identify what is a granular level of that the researchers are working on. So not subject areas, but in terms of almost on a research question level, to identify what are the researchers working on, and then we can map the researchers to these topics to show what is the topics that they are focusing on based on what we call citation density. So these researchers are across the whole world citing each other, and based on those citation density, we can identify the research topics, and then we can, from the institution, who is contributing from the institution and from the group to this topic. And then we can see in sunflower seed protein, we can see these 3 researchers or these publications from the researchers. I'm not sure why that's not showing now. So just click again and see. Right, so here it shows that the 3 publications that is contributing to that specific topic. So this is, now we can, because we've got the combined performance of the researchers, it's easy to actually create a report on this. We can basically just report from template, and we can see there are different reports that we can select from, but I'm going to select this one first. It's the researcher group overview report. So this gives a report on the combined effort of these researchers. And it automatically populated the report with the publications by subject area, the total number of publications, the citation count, citations per publication, in the output in top citation percentiles, publications in top journal percentiles, collaboration, are they collaborating with corporate, what are the topics that they're focusing on. So this is a nice automatically populated report for the group output of the Department of Fats and Oils. Right. So my report is there in the reporting module. If I click on reporting, I will see that my report will be there. So researcher group overview report. Right. So I can use this. If I open this report now, you will see it contains all the information of the researchers, the research that was produced by the researchers in this group. So some of it will be empty because I'm just showing this as an example, but you can see most of the collaboration here is institutional collaboration. There's no corporate collaboration. These are the topics that the researchers are working on. You will see the list. So this is just showing on the wheel of science. You can see this is agriculture, this is earth sciences, environmental. So this is the focus area of this research department. These are the topics that they're working on, and that's your report. But now what you would also ideally want to add to this report is the contribution of the individual researchers. So for that, you can go to the benchmarking module. I'm clicking on benchmarking module. So now I want to add the performance. We can just hide that view. And then now I want to select all the researchers that are in fats and oils. And I'm selecting all of these researchers so that I can add to my report also. So that's the grouping. I'm not going to add the grouping again, but all the researchers, so that I can show what is the contribution of each of the researchers. Right, so National Research Fund Center, I'm going to just deselect that one, and I go back to researchers and groups. And now I can see my researchers and I can see how they have their scholarly output by year between 2010 and 2019. I can also change this to a different year range. But important, I should try to keep it the same as my other reports so that I can combine the two reports. So I think it was, I can't remember, it was there, I think. So now I can add this to the report. This is my report and save this. But I can also go to the table format. Now I've got all my researchers, and now I can select other metrics. So I can look at things like citation per publication, cited publications, the percentage of publications of each researcher that was cited. I can look at each researcher's collaboration, 2 collaborations, national and international. I can add the H index of every researcher, the number of countries citing those researchers, etc. So you can use any of these metrics, up to 18 metrics. That's already added, so we can keep it at that. Publications in journal quartiles is important. So what is the quartiles? How many publications in quartile 1 journals, for example? So then we update this. Right. I just need to go back, and for international collaboration, I'm going to change this to national collaboration, and I'm going to change the other international collaboration to institutional collaboration. And then I also need to change the quartiles. I want to know how many, what is the percentage of publications in quartile 1 journals? So from all quartiles to quartile 1 journals, and I choose the metric. Right, so, and now, once I have this information, I can also, so a whole range of data metrics for each of the researchers, the number of output citations per publications, how percentage of cited, so most of them, all of the publications were cited, the collaboration, what is the H index of each of the researchers, how many in quartile 1 journals, how many countries are citing this researcher. When we're happy with all of these metrics, we can also add this to our report. So add it to report. Our report is already there, so we can save this. And if you now go to the reporting module, this information will be added to our report, and you can now see an overview of the group performance, as well as an overview of, so this is the group performance, and then this is an overview of the contribution of each of the researchers within the group. Right, so there you have a very neat report on the entire performance of this research department. In the benchmarking module, you can also compare the groups, of course. So now, instead of selecting individual researchers, we want to compare these 3 departments are in the same division. So we want to compare the performance of the departments. And we can select then fats and oils, and we can select food technologies, the other group, And the last group was toxins and food pollutants. I'm going back to my chart view. And now I can see this is the performance of the groups compared to each other. So here we have fats and oils. On the y-axis, we have the scholarly output. So fats and oils have higher research output, just in this example, but has higher output than food technology and toxins and food pollutants. But food pollutants, toxins and food pollutants, they have on the x-axis, they have more citations per publication. And you can see on the bubble size is the percentage of publications that were cited. And it looks like fats and oils, oh no, this one is the biggest bubble. So in toxins and food pollutants, 100% of their article output are being cited. So that's very good. And for fats and oils, 92.9% are being cited. And for food technology, 71.4% of publications are being cited. So here again, we can put this in the report. So you can add this to reporting. So let me just see. I'm not going to add this to report. I just want an analysis so that I can create a different report now. And I can also, if I select the table view here, then I just need to select the groupings again because I've changed my format now. So here again, I need to finish. I think I've been running out of time for technology. And it's my first one. And then fats and oils and toxins and food pollutants. So I select my 3 groups to compare, and then I can select any number of metrics up to more than 17, 18 metrics I can add here. So I can add even more metrics now, say, what else would be interesting? I think the publications in top journal percentiles and update the metrics. So now I'm not comparing the individuals in the groups, I'm just comparing the groups. And I can also add, just close that one and add this to a report. I can add it to reporting. Save. And when I go to the reporting module, because ideally you would always put this into a report, I can select these 2 analyses that I've completed now, and I can create a new report just for the 3 departments, showing the comparison between the 3 departments. And once, so these were the analysis that I have. So there's more that you can add, of course. You can either use the table or you can create more charts and add the charts. And then once I'm happy with this, I can save this and I can also export this. So I can save it as a report. I can export this as a PDF file and I can share it with whoever needs to see this. Oh, I didn't add a report name. So example report. And I can save my report and share it. Right. So I think I'm going to stop there and check if there are any questions. But I hope this has given you an overview of how to create the groups by using the Excel spreadsheet so that you can easily import a lot of researchers at once. And then how you can use from the overview module, create a report, from the benchmarking module, create a report, and then keep it or share it with whoever would be interested. So I'm going to stop sharing and see if there's any questions.
We would just like to remind everyone, if you have any question, please add them to the chat box. لو في أي حد عنده أي أسئلة يا جماعة please يحطها في ال Q&A أو في ال chat box. Sorry. Thank you, Lucia. It was really, really insightful demonstration. I'll just shift in Arabic for a few seconds.
Sure.
احنا يعني الاكسرسايز اللي لوشيا demonstrated النهارده هو mainly احنا بنجيب الديبارتمنت نفسها الريسيرشرز اللي في الديبارتمنت نقدر ان احنا نشوف البرفورمانس بتاعهم شكله عامل ازاي. ممكن نقارن الديبارتمنت ككل مع بعضها شكلها عامل ازاي. فدي حاجة مفيدة جدا لو انت حابب تشو كيس ان الديبارتمنت بتاعتك في الانستتيوشن is performing كويس وان انت الانفولفمنت بتاعتك او الجزء اللي انت بتشارك بيه البارتيسيبيشن بتاعك في الريسيرش عامل امباكت كويس قوي ف you would like to showcase this. ف it's very nice to create reports حاجة بالشكل دوت يعني. I don't see any questions so far, but this is everyone is complimenting you for this presentation, and it's really nice demonstration. What we want from all the researchers right now attending this session is to do another assignment with grouping also. I know it's not easy. You can always refer back to this webinar during your practice within SciVal. I want everyone to create his group performance or departmental structure, import researchers من يعني أنا عايز ناس إن هي تخش تسجل تضيف الجروبس اللي هم شغالين فيها في الديبارتمنتس في الجامعة بتاعتها وتعمل لهم جروبينج وتشوف البرفورمانس بتاعتهم as a group و as an individual انت بتبرفورم ازاي وسط الجروب اللي شغال في الديبارتمنت بتاعتك وتبعتوا برضو الايميل بتاعكم تبعتوا على الايميل بتاع الكونفرنس ودكتوره زهراء هتشير معاكم دلوقتي اللينك بتاع الكونفرنس اللي انتوا هتبعتوا الايميل اللي انتوا هتبعتوا عليه الاساينمنت ديت. وطبعا هيبقى في سيرتيفيكت لل3 سيشنز مع بعض للي هيقدم اللي هيقدم الاساينمنت هيتبعت له الايميل في اللينك بتاع السيرتيفيكت. وان شاء الله النهارده في كمان السيرتيفيكت بتاعه NRC هتتبعت برضو النهارده على الشات بوكس. Thank you, Lucia, for your presentation. Really inspiring, really nice. Over to Zahra.
Thank you very much, Lucia. Thank you, Muhammad. I really enjoyed the presentation. I learned a lot, and now I will practically do the homework again also with everyone else because I believe it's very important to have an overview of the whole work of the whole department, whole maybe research division, maybe the whole institution. It's very important to see where we are and where we need to go. So it's very, very informative session. Actually, I believe we need to broadcast it everywhere. And whoever was not able to attend it today, I really encourage everyone to go back and check the YouTube channel. It's always full of all the recordings of all the previous webinar sessions we've been doing. And I really recommend this one to everyone, not only the researchers with the different career levels, but I believe also for the decision makers putting a research plan for the coming few quarters or the coming years. I think it's important to see where we are, and it's very nice to see the level of everyone, whoever we can work with. So I think this is a very, very nice session to be ending the SciVal series. And we'll be promising our audience that we'll be having a session in the upcoming conference of the conference unit at the National Research Center, the second international conference for the science and sustainable development will be next October 25th to 27th. And I encourage everyone to start registering in the conference. We'll be using these tools to encourage researchers, find collaborators, potential collaborators for the work, and show what we can do together. Actually, it's a little sad to be working everyone alone in a research area. So it's very nice to expand our work and to find how we can upgrade the work and do better all together, and to see this growing makes me personally very happy. So this is shared in the chat box, the link for registering for today's webinar certificate, and the Google Drive link where you can find your certificate for today's session. The email to submit your SciVal assignment, and we will be communicating with our audience who have attended the 3 sessions for this series and submitted their SciVal assignment. We will be sending them a link from the Researcher Academy for their certificate for the whole SciVal series. I can't find questions actually. Everyone is just giving us wonderful feedback. Thank you very much for this very informative session. We have attendees from the National Research Center in Egypt, from other research institutes, from universities, from different research academies inside Egypt, and also in the Middle East, in Africa. So I'm very happy to again welcome everyone to attend this series organized by the conference unit and in collaboration with the Elsevier team and EKB. I think I found maybe privately a question about the access, Raed, for SciVal, someone from the National Research Center having an institutional email, and I think she says she has some troubles to access SciVal.
Okay, I'm expecting that we are going to receive emails from several researchers. If you would help me, Zahra, arrange with whoever is having, just collect all the team, whoever is not accessing SciVal or having a problem, and then we can just arrange a session, and then we can go live, and even they can have their own laptops and ready to just share their screen, and we go with each one individually and try to solve this. It's going to be very nice.
That would be very nice, and I really encourage everyone to try it yourself. Try to access SciVal from your institution, and then later on from outside or back away from the institution.
Through the AKB, yes.
So that would be great if everyone can try today or within the next couples of days, and we can you can contact us at the conference unit in person, or you can send an email at that email while you're submitting your SciVal assignment, if possible. If you want to send us at the conference unit email confu.nrc@gmail.com, I will write it down also, so you can send us any troubles you're facing while trying to access SciVal, and we will all gather again. That would be a very nice opportunity to do this in person. So just try it, and if you have any troubles, I think everyone maybe is just asking about the certificates or the... Okay, anyone who has not attended any previous webinars, please go back to our YouTube channel. You'll find the recordings. Thank you very much for attending today. Thank you, Lucia, for being with us today, and looking forward to again have you maybe during the coming month, and waiting for you at the conference. Thank you, Roy, for being our speaker. speaker also for today and for collaborating for organizing this Cyber series. And I'm really happy and proud to be working with you and with all the Elsevier team. Thank you, our dear audience, for being with us today, and keep following us at the Conference Unit website and Facebook page. Thank you very much and have a nice day. That was Dr. Zahra Ahmad Al-Waifi, Assistant Researcher at the Child Health Department at the National Research Center. Thank you very much and have a nice day.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks. Bye-bye.